What is happening, guys? Mike here, welcome back to the channel and yet another review. You know, I've been thinking about this quite a bit lately, and here on the channel I strive to be kind of a visual reference for hair products, a place where you can go to check out products, and for me that's very satisfying. I think we're doing a great job of that here on the channel, and we've got quite a few products under our belt at this point, and today I'm adding another product to the list of reviewed brews. It has been a minute since we greased up here on the channel, but that's exactly what we're gonna do today, because up for review we got the heavy hair grease from Don Juan. Alright guys, once again, welcome back to the channel, and today before we get rolling here, I do want to let you know that we do have a few Nevermore items left. We are getting low on the fragrances and bar soaps as of now, and I'm telling you, you do not want to miss out on that fragrance or the bar soap. I actually just got the bar soap today. I actually had to buy it myself because we had so few of them. So go grab one right away, and we still have some of the matte paste available as well, so head over there and check those out, and a big thank you in advance for that, and I really hope you guys enjoy the goods. As usual too, before we start talking about the grease today, we do have a new submission sent in by one of your fellow subscribers to take a look at real quick in today's all-new subscriber spotlight. Today the spotlight is on Jacob Evans and his slick back courtesy of the Nostalgic Grooming Super Water-Based Pomade. Big thank you to Jacob for sending in that photo. I think your style is awesome, and if you guys want to send in a photo and be featured in a future video, instructions on how to do that will be in the description for you to check out. But of course, now we gotta talk about the grease. Today's product comes from Don Juan, and if you missed it, I've already done a few videos on this brand. I highly suggest you go back and look at them. I'm a big fan of what this brand is doing, and actually what they got planned for the coming months is also very cool. Today's product is an oil-based pomade, which I know isn't for everyone, and that's totally okay. There's still quite a few guys out there who love to use these type of products, and if you haven't really considered it before, I'd for sure stick around to check out this review. Coming across my desk today is the heavy hair grease from Don Juan. According to the brand, the heavy hair grease was actually formulated and handcrafted by the Lockhart specifically for Don Juan, and is a wax-based pomade that features a heavy hold, high shine, and a fresh citrus scent. It's designed for all those slick and high pomp, slick back, contoured, great pomade styles, and as usual comes in a 4-ounce black metal tin and sells for $15 US. Looking inside the tin here, we got pretty much everything as expected, being this is an oil-based pomade. Scooping it out, we get our first clue as to what wax-based pomade really means, and let me tell you, it's about as subtle as a baseball bat to the face. I mean, this stuff is waxy. It still scoops out fairly nice, which is good, but you can feel every ounce of wax in there as you scoop it out and break it down. Now, the whole wax-based pomade thing, when I first saw it, did kind of throw me for a second, to be honest with you, being as the first ingredient was still petro, but after using it, like I said a second ago, it made total sense to me, and wax-based is the perfect way to describe this one. Now, of course, I would normally use an oil-based pomade on damp hair anyway, but this one actually says you can use it on dry hair too, and this is not something I say too often, so enjoy it while it lasts, but dry hair did not work for me at all on this one. Damp hair was 100% needed on this one. Let me show you what I mean here. This is damp hair using only 1 scoop. That's right, only 1 scoop, but to be fair, it was kind of a big scoop, but holy hell did it go a long way. Adding in that 1 scoop, I immediately felt 2 things, tug and power. I'm not going to pretend like the tug was just fine here. That waxiness really has the potential to pull, but if if you can look past it, the power in the pomade is just fantastic. Like I said a second ago too, damp hair for me was a must and significantly cut down on the tug and pull while combing. Speaking of that combing too, for this one I broke out the big guns, the big wide tooth comb from ByVilain, which worked beautifully here. As you can see, it went through there and totally controlled the situation. And I've already said this pomade has great hold and power, but the other thing that it's also great at is building volume. It makes the hair stick together extremely well, so building volume with a comb or pick is pretty much effortless. Guys, I really gotta tell you, I think this stuff is the real deal. We just discussed this topic actually in the last live stream, but sometimes brands do put hold strengths on the label, like heavy in this case, and then when you throw it in your hair, it ends up being pretty much anything but. We do know that this happens quite a bit, but I think this is one of those occasions where heavy hold is a very appropriate and accurate description of this pomade. I think it's perfect to say it's a heavy hold. I almost didn't even do an endurance test on this one because the hold was so great. These are also notoriously long lasting too, but I figured I'd just do it real quick anyway for the hell of it. So here's a look at the style 5 hours in. I think the only difference we can see here is as the water dried out from the hair, some of the volume that we had established kind of went down with it. It does still look good in my opinion though, and here we have the same style at 10 hours in. It does look like we got some slight movement there, but it still looks awesome, and again, that's 10 hours in. Now of course, being an oil-based pomade, the restyle game was just awesome. That's one thing that I think oil-based pomades are great at, with the second thing of course being that buildup. Those that grease up on a regular basis know that buildup can be a great tool for next day or even third day styling, and on this one it really was no different. The waxiness of the pomade mixed with that petro that deflects the water like it should allows you to redo your style the next day without much effort at all, and for me it also worked really well without adding additional product too. That being said though, getting it out of the hair of course is not as easy as just washing it out or using a little bit of shampoo even. That's a given of course with it being a petro product, but I found that this one was perfect for the conditioner method, which if you haven't heard of that before, this is something that I mention a lot and still get questions on, so if you haven't heard of the conditioner method, what that involves is wetting the hair, applying some conditioner for about 5 minutes or so, rinsing, and then shampooing. Any conditioner does seem to work. I've tried a bunch of them on oil-based pomades and they all seem to work. There's just something great about conditioners that just break up that petro and wax before the shampoo comes in and just sweeps it all away, and this one did great with that method. I was able to get it out in one try actually with just using conditioner then shampoo. It works great. Basically, in the end here, what we have, in my opinion, of course, is a home run for Don Juan. And the fact that Lockhart's designed it makes perfect sense to me. They have a great track record for these types of products, and I think it was very well done. Now, if I were to try and channel my inner Bob Ross and try to paint you guys a mental picture on this one, I'd say picture goon grease with a higher wax content both in strength and actual feel within the product, and with that, a heavy wax hold. That's pretty much what we got here. I think it's kind of goon grease-ish, if you will, goon grease-ish, but it's waxier both in the actual breakdown and in the hair, and I think it's got a higher hold actually overall than goon grease because of that higher wax content. Speaking of that too, I really like that they were able to do this, make it a true heavy and not have it be a knuckle buster in the process. We see this so often with brands. They want that power and the hold, but in the process, they sacrifice the scoop, and the fact that they didn't here was a strong plus for me. The scent too, I think was great. It's really light and fresh, citrusy. I love Don Juan scents. I think they do a great job. That being said, the only negatives really, or maybe cons, minor negatives that I listed here was the tug. I know that's something you guys may not enjoy that much, and maybe the waxy breakdown. That waxy breakdown made it just a bit hard to actually break it all down in the hand, and then it really contributed to that tug in the hair, but I think the style achieved and the endurance really did kind of make up for that in the end, so if you want to call that negatives, there's arguments on both sides. It kind of evens out for me, but if I had to name something and give you guys my honest opinion, those would be the only two things that I would say. If you would though like to check out the Don Juan Heavy Hair Grease, links and a coupon code will be in the description as usual for you guys that are interested in checking this one out. Of course, I am interested in hearing what you guys think as well, so drop me a comment down below, and I always try to reply to folks here. It's the least I can do after you awesome people watch my videos. It's really the least I can do if you think about it. If you guys didn't watch, I'd just be a sad guy in a room talking to himself into a camera. So really responding to you guys is the least I can do. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you drop me a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. That is it though for today. That wraps up another week of content. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today and checking out this video. As usual, I will be back with you guys right here next week with some all new content. And until then, take it easy. I'll see you next time.